In an extraordinary collaboration stretching the length and breadth of the country, a research project looked at ways to use digital technology to reach rural audiences with classical music concerts while maximising revenue for orchestras and venues.
The aim of our project was to explore whether one concert could be the basis for multiple revenue streams. It was a really good project. We're in the Roundhouse Theatre in Camden Town in London, which was where we staged a first concert called Love Song for the City.
It wasn't just in London where the concerts were staged. This was a project that spanned the length of the country.
I think it was really interesting for us at the stage Gateshead because we haven't done streaming before. It's a classical streaming project where we took 3 orchestras, Northern Sinfonia, the Manchester Camerata and the Aurora Orchestra, and we streamed 3 concerts in total.
To the Maltings Theatre in Berwick, the Playhouse in Alnwick and the Gala Theatre in Durham.
And we also streamed it online to some media partners as well. The Guardian website, Medici website, and also the BBC Music Magazine website.
It was a difficult thing to explain because a lot of those venues are in rural areas. Most of their audience are an older population, so it's hard to kind of say this is a streamed concert. It's not actually the orchestra coming into the venue, you'll watch it on a screen.
We thought a lot about how audiences could engage with the product if they weren't actually in the same room as them. And we thought a lot about how the presentation from the conductors and also the intervals could engage with the audience.
Interviews, for instance, with the conductor or the soloists or background stuff that actually it's added value that you wouldn't actually get if you were here live. It was really interesting for us to find out what audiences made of that, both the live audience, the audiences in theatres and the audiences at home watching online on their computers. But
isn't that just a fair description of the technology known as television?
It's an interesting thing whether it is any different than watching it on TV, even if you stream it on your computer at home, or some people streamed it straight onto their televisions, whether it's any different. I mean, in some ways it kind of possibly feels a little bit more personal because you've kind of streamed it yourself rather than it being chosen for you and just put on.
We weren't doing anything technically difficult. There was no complicated software to be built. It was putting together a new process rather than building something that had never before been done. So in terms of that process, it was a very easy project. It was very easy to do the research that we had to do. Having said that, it was the technology that let us down in the end because we were streaming the concerts through a public broadband network out to the rural venues, and of course they failed on a number of occasions, which meant that audiences were turned away. But the venues and the audiences were fantastic about it, and they understood that this was all part of research and all part of the science of it, and they were very fulsome in their feedback, and they kind of got that it might not all go completely smoothly.
To iron out such problems and to learn of the reaction to them, audience research was critical to the project.
We were working with 2 research partners, the Judge Business School in Cambridge and Fusion Analytics, and they put together a package that measured audiences' satisfaction.
pretty much every way an audience could have digested the performances has been met with asking them questions. So there was online surveys for those who were watching online. For the audience members in the mixed arts venues, they had surveys as well, and both also the live audiences here as well and the orchestras themselves have all taken part in questionnaires. So that's all being number crunched as we speak, and we'll have a report soon on it.
So what are the expectations now that the research into the project nears completion?
Everybody takes their own takeout from these kind of projects and they use them and apply them in different ways. And I think everybody's been so happy with the project and what they've learned from it.
We're hoping to take from this project a business model that will be adaptable, flexible and able to be taken on by other orchestras and other arts venues.
One of the things we're looking at as well is possibly extending the streaming network to some of our European concert hall partners as well.
Collaborative R&D projects like this are fantastic because people can work together and share ideas.
In the future, there's going to be a lot more streaming of live gigs or live concerts. I don't think it's going to replace anything live, but I think it will help to develop people's tastes or develop what people choose to then go and see live.